Welcome to another episode of Lifelong Learner. This is the Out of Class edition with Ben, Janesh, and Matt. Hope you enjoy.
Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Lifelong Learner. Welcome, Matt. How you doing?
Very well, mate. Very well. We are just discussing some of Ben's antics.
Yes.
Where is he, by the way?
He is stuck in Cooper Pedy at the moment. He's joining us shortly. He's had some tech difficulties and some vehicle difficulties, so I'll let him chat about that when he jumps on. He just called me before, so hopefully he's not too far off. Hopefully.
Well, his alternator isn't connected to his phone, is it?
No, definitely not. Definitely not. So, but no,
use that excuse.
Yeah. So you're still in Indonesia at the moment, correct?
Correct. Lombok, Indonesia. We're still here. 2 more weeks, and then we're coming back to Perth.
So good.
Are you back in? You're back in Melbourne. That's your room down there.
Yeah. So we got back last Wednesday from spending a month away in the States. So it was some warm weather, some summer over there, and adventures with family and friends, and it's actually a really good time. We did started in Colorado, did Colorado, Nebraska, Minnesota, and then Vermont on the East Coast for a good mate's wedding as well. So it was a good trip. It was interesting.
Easy to get around.
Yeah. Oh well, we had lots of family around there, so we had access to vehicles, which was nice. We only caught one internal flight from Minnesota to Vermont. And that flight was on time, no delays, nothing like that. So we only had one flight cancellation, which was pretty good on the way in. On the way out, no flight cancellations. We did lose a bag though. Still, I don't know where it is. Which is
Zaid's bag.
Yeah, Zaid's bag is. I think it's still in America. I don't understand. 3 out of 4 bags made it, and then 1 bag doesn't. So I don't get it.
Is she going shopping? Has she been taken to?
Well, it's winter here, and it's all her summer clothes. So
no is the answer.
Yeah.
Tough luck, Zaid. Maybe you'll get summer clothes next summer. Okay.
Yeah. We'll go
How did she take that? How did she take it when you had to explain to her?
She still doesn't know.
Everything you own for summer is gone forever.
She doesn't.
Never gonna.
She doesn't know yet. She doesn't know. Until she realised it was like one of her favourite tops or something. She's like, "Where's that one?" No, so she doesn't know yet. Doesn't know. So hopefully by the time it starts getting warmer, we'll find that bag. So.
And she doesn't do stuffed toys or anything?
Nah.
I would have thought that'd be your undoing.
Nah, we had one stuffed toy. It was only hand luggage, so it was all good.
Golden.
Yeah, so that was easy. That was Gordon the shark. Gordon the shark.
Shark made it.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
The shark made it, so...
She's a unique individual. She's the only girl I know who has a shark toy.
Yeah, it's a shark toy.
Most girls have a cute teddy bear. She wants a shark.
Shark, named Gordon, right? And his name is Gordon. How the fuck it's the stuffy of a 3-year-old. It's called Gordon. Anyway, but talking of Zaid, like during the summer, while we were away, her hair's just kind of gone blonde. Like the summer, the sun over there has just kind of turned it blonde. But no, it was a good trip. Lots of time outside, lots of time in the water, in lakes and pools and splash parks, and it was great. It was good. In the middle of the trip, I did get a bout of COVID. I avoided COVID for 2.5 years. I'm not sure.
Which state did you get it in?
In Nebraska. And I blame Brady. Brady, if you're listening, Brady's my brother-in-law. He corrupted me on one Friday night, and we probably had a little too much indulgence to drink that night. So the next morning, I was definitely worse for wear and had probably my immune system spiked big time. To all-time low. Not spiked up, spiked to all-time low. So
everyone got confused then. They were with you and then you said spiked. And
I know. And then so...
What were you indulging in?
I know.
Vitamin C?
vitamin
intravenous
D and C.
injected?
Well, that was in the recovery plan, Matt. So it was, a couple of days of fever and whatnot, and then they kind of back at it. So 5 days in and out. So that was probably the only low side of it. But yeah, no, we were kind of, everything else was great. Kind of shorts and t-shirt the whole time, which was awesome. Welcome, Benny. How you doing?
Benny.
It's really good. Good to be with you guys.
Looks fresh wherever you are.
Hey, Cooper Petey, it is fresh.
You're in a beanie and it looks cold.
Cooper Petey, 2 degrees in the morning, super windy all day, and but look, it's like one of those how like you see people in the desert and you think, geez, it's got to be hot there, but it's not.
Cold. Cooper Petey's the mine where they're all underground. Is that the place? Where
Correct. Yeah. Yeah. So there you go.
And somebody stole your alternator.
Yeah. Yeah, alternator.
So Ben, you and Michelle
you got to fill us in.
You and Michelle are on the road now. So on the road now for about 10 days. And you're right in the middle, the guts of Australia. I'm curious to know. I've seen a couple of videos. Spoke to Logs as well about it. And I'm curious to know, mate, that whole driving along and things shutting off, mate. Tell us.
Well, we got to William Creek, which is on the Oodnadatta track, and stayed there overnight. Got up in the morning, started the car, and 2 days before, or a day before, when we got to Woomera, where we pulled in, there was this kind of whirring kind of noise coming from the engine bay. And I said to Michelle, it doesn't normally make that sound. She said, no. So when you hear a weird sound from your car, you turn it off and you go to bed. And you just don't worry about it, you see. And so anyway, we left Wimmera the next morning and it was happy days. Anyway, we get to William Creek, wake up the next morning, and the battery charge fault light comes on, the Rangy. And I thought, it's nothing. I'll turn the car off, turn it back on. Still there. That didn't work. Lifted the bonnet, hey? I lifted the bonnet.
Oh, look at you.
And looked around, looked at the battery, just wiggled a few wires, and put the bonnet back down. And the light still didn't go off. Surprise, surprise. So rang Damo, our Rangy mechanic, and he said, mate, that's your alternator. I said, yeah, okay.
Got one.
I said, well, where are you? I said, William Creek. So I could hear him Googling it. He goes, mate, you're 170 Ks from Cooper Petey. I said, yeah. He said, well, you're not going to make it. I said, well, maybe if the jiggling and the jolting on the corrugations, it might get it working again. He said it could, it could, but he said probably not. Probably not. In this conversation, by the way, is in one of those languages where each person's only picking up the second word or the third word because the Optus signal was so terrible. Thank you, Optus. And so we ended up texting. He said, here's the part number when you do, and if you get to Cooper Petey, that you're going to need. Good luck. And I said, great, I'm off. So we head off. The light's on, car's going well. I figure let's go as quick as we possibly can across this dirt track. I've got the speed warning alarm going off, which is my wife saying, slow down, slow down. Anyway, we get within about 50 Ks and my car, fuel warning comes on. So the second warning now, we've got 2 warnings. Battery charge fuel warning and now fuel warning. And I'm just about to walk back and get into our hotel and my wife has left. And the you'll know the other expression on my face, has she locked the door? So anyway,
I hope
so now fuel warning's on, right? And I'm thinking, okay, I'll look at the Ks that it's got. So I got 50 Ks to go and 40 Ks worth of fuel. So I think, keep going, keep driving. And then I look and it's like 40 Ks to go and 25 Ks of fuel. Hey, have you got a master key in your pocket? I think my wife might have locked me out. I'll have a look. I'll see if it's. I'll have a look.
the complexities.
Here we go. It could be unlocked.
What's your gut tell you?
My gut says unlocked. Here we go. Let's see. I knew she'd leave it unlocked.
So thoughtful.
So I figure, right, okay. Well, I don't want the battery thing to fail. Like I figure, no. What I'll do is I'll pull over. Don't turn the car off. Pull over and top up the petrol within the jerry can. So we pull over, top up the fuel in the jerry can. Of course, we open the doors. Now, when you open the doors, the interior light comes up. Oh, no. So it starts to use a bit of battery. We get back in the car. Car's still running. Now the dashboard is flickering, all sorts of warning lights everywhere. Taco is kind of doing a bit of this, and then black, total blackout. Everything's blacked out. Everything stops, except for the car is still running. Let's just keep driving. So into gear, goes into gear, and we start heading off. So we head off.
Do you have brakes?
I'm driving a bit. Sorry?
Is it have electric brakes?
Mate, I could have. I don't know. All I know is the motor's still running. So I'm driving down the road.
He's got 120.
I've got no speed or nothing. I've got no indicator, nothing. I don't know whether ABS is working. I don't know whether traction control works. So I'm driving down the road and I put my foot on the accelerator and it's not going over 80, definitely not over 80. And then after a little while, it doesn't seem to go over 60. And then after a little while, it doesn't seem to be going over 40. So the car's getting slower and slower. It's obviously moved into some kind of
like limp mode.
Yeah. So, and then it's doing 20. And then we get to this point within about 12 Ks of Cooper Pedy. Like we're 12 Ks. Like that's not very far. And now it's doing 5. So it's actually going slower than I could walk. Now the car is obviously, this is the car's final gasp. You know, as it's like whispering to me as it's about to die, pull over then, because you're in the middle of the track and
you're going to kill me.
Mind you, no cars. There's no cars on this track at all the whole time. And then so we pull over and it dies. And just as it dies, we get Optus signal.
Oh, nice.
Very good.
And so anyway, long story short, RACV calls RAA and some lovely people come out and put our car on the trailer. Now, the people that come out, I actually think they're concreters in mechanics uniforms. Or maybe bakers. Could be bakers. Could be artists. I'm not sure.
They're definitely not mechanics.
Not mechanics. But anyway, they managed to get. We get back into the yard, and I say, mate, so here's the alternator part. I've got the part because I rang my Range Rover guy. He's going to send me the part number. He said, okay, all right. We can't order it now because it's Friday afternoon, 4:00. We close for the weekend, so I'll order it Monday. I said, okay, well, how long's it going to take? He goes, I
Oh,
was about to put the accent on, but I won't put the accent on because this is a PC podcast. But there was an accent. And in the accent, he said, it could be 2 or 3 weeks.
Hey, Cooper Pedy, beautiful time of year. What a place to go. They have pools there?
It's cold. Heated pools.
You got a sauna? What are you going to do? I imagine you've already done the walk around town and every historical thing in Cooper Pedy.
Hey, I can hear some other podcasts on the podcast.
What do you mean?
Can you hear that? You're all playing a podcast, Jen.
Mm-mm.
Is it next door? Are you playing it?
Are you playing it?
Hang on. Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, nothing's playing on our end. Let's have a quick look here.
They're talking about the PC podcast.
The PC podcast.
Is it like a delay, mate? Are you hearing a delay? Oh, he's gone. Anyway.
Well, I'm glad we got the story. That's hilarious.
Yeah. From 160 Ks to 12 Ks. That's, pretty good.
I can't believe he got in the car when they had no electrics and he drove.
Well, I guess when you've got there's no cars, there's no lanes, there's just one track, you can take a bit of a punt and a gamble.
I would have thought Michelle would have shut that straight down.
No, there's no signal. They had no signal. So
hilarious.
Yeah, I know. So, which was which is funny. But yeah, and I was going to share on the last leg of our trip. We had a we had a good friend's wedding, and we were all in. I was in the bridal party, and we're all in kilts, right? So we're and the age old question is like, what do you wear under your kilt, right? And so we were just before they were doing like a bridal look before, and we all still had underwear on under, and then he's like, oh, just about to walk out of the room to get do the bridal look. Can you guys hear that?
Ben's picking up some kind of other podcast through his headphones.
Can you hear that, Matt?
Yeah. Is Ben
I can't hear anything now, but
I can hear like someone talking about a 5-year guarantee.
I feel like you're watching TV or something.
Oh, the TV is on in the background here. But what did happen? What did happen before is Siri is always listening, and somehow when I said the word PC, it started playing the PC podcast. Always listening.
Interesting.
Weird.
Interesting.
Go on, Janesh. Kilts.
Underpants. And so the groom strips down just before the look, and so being the best man at the wedding, I was like, oh well, it's time too. So me and the groomsmen
Can't
down.
leave him hanging.
And literally, well, he was hanging. And then all the guys in the kilts were starkers, and mate, it was liberating. Summer's day, it was great.
What are you wearing right now?
No, I don't have the kilt. Kilt's upstairs. I got pants on at the moment. A little cold for the kilt today.
So did you guys flash everyone? Isn't that what people do in kilts?
No,
Get a bit cheeky?
We were actually respectable. Believe it or not. I was mindful.
Doesn't sound right.
I think I've forgotten a couple of times on the dance floor that I was wearing a kilt with completely commando. But there was no weird looks on the dance floor, which was good. How
many kilts? Sounds like a nightmare to me.
Well, it was 1, 2,
Drinking,
3,
kilts,
4, 5,
dangerous.
6. 6 of us in kilts.
6 men in kilts.
Yeah.
What's the connect? I don't understand the connection. You're in America. I thought Kilts was Ireland and Scotland.
No, so the groom's from the UK.
Ah, he's English.
Yes.
Why is he wearing?
Yeah, heritage. I should probably know that question, but
Okay.
he's going to get heritage.
I hope he's listening. You're meant to be the best man. You've just put it under the heritage banner.
We could probably all wear a kilt, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or we could wear those hats with the big horns that come out.
The Vikings.
Like those.
Yeah.
We're all Vikings or something.
Exactly.
Kilt wearing Vikings.
Kilt wearing white. Yeah, once upon a time, they probably put those two together.
Well, maybe you and me are, Ben. Ben and me are.
I'm going to be.
I don't know if Janesh is a Viking.
I'm his Cooper Pedy mechanic, by the sounds of it.
I'm really excited to see how that turns out.
Yeah. Oh, how long?
Well, so far, I can tell you that I spoke to my mechanic. By the way, the part I managed to put on a Greyhound coach and get it to arrive yesterday morning at 5:30.
There you go.
My mechanic said, mate, it's easy. It's a 45-minute install. The guy started at 8:30 yesterday. I was in there helping them at 6:15 last night still.
Oh, God.
Did you FaceTime your Melbourne mechanic to give him a hand and go, hey, look, give me the how-to on how to do this?
I wish I'd thought that through. I wish I'd said to Damo, mate, look, I'll pay you to be on Zoom while these guys are the hands. Anyway, we got it started last night, but it's still got the battery charge fault light on. So I'm going to get on my rusty little bike that's got one gear and ride out into the desert to Cooper Pedy Auto,
Sounds like
which they're lovely, by the way. Guys at Cooper Pedy Auto, if you're listening, I just want to say thank you.
And
just, give them some encouragement.
So when do you leave Cooper Pedy? Tomorrow, once your battery fault lights off?
Well, yes, hopefully later this afternoon. I'm going to stay and do a bit of work.
Matt, what's your part? When is Ben leaving Cooper Pedy? I don't think you're leaving today.
Well, it really depends on that battery fault light, Janesh. Is that just a sensor and it's not actually saying the alternator's not working? Because if it is the alternator not working, then he's breaking down the same distance from wherever he was the first time he broke down to Cooper Pedy.
That's another Greyhound
Maybe
coach. Maybe they send him a faulty alternator.
Well, it was the alternator. It's definitely because it's actually producing charge now. So it's all that. So it could be something simple. Just needs a big. They tried to do the reset. The computer error code reset last night. Maybe my battery just needs to be charged. It could be something ridiculously simple, and it'll be fixed really quickly this morning.
It would make sense for the battery, wouldn't it?
Mate,
that'd be flat.
That little smirk on your face, Ben, doesn't look promising. That smirk on your face tells me that, you really hope you're not that hopeful that it's going to be done today.
Well, look, I tell you what, Cooper Pedy
has great internet.
There's plenty to see here. Over a 24 over. We can only do the Outback times. But I have got a great little bakery down here, beautiful bakery. The girls down at CK Confectionery. I just want to say thank you for the coffees and the cinnamon scrolls. They've been lovely.
Cinnamon scrolls.
It's 6:30 here. Nothing opens before 7. So you've just mentioned two things that have really set me off: coffee and cinnamon scrolls. That's unfair.
They're a match made in heaven. So, Maddie, where are you? I've got one more great story to tell, but I want to know, where is Maddie?
I'm in Lombok, Indonesia, leaving in 2 weeks. 2 weeks left.
That looks very Australian out the back of you.
It does. Like no leaves.
Oh, now the palm tree I can see. Yeah. But they look like sort of gum trees.
Yeah, they are weird trees.
But how's Lombok been?
Oh, man, it's been a bit of a whirlwind. We've done some damage, though, in a good way. We now have, I had 200 and something banana trees. Did I tell you about this?
No.
So our lot of land was just banana trees. And I contracted a local community to get rid of all the banana trees. So for 2 weeks, we've been pulling out, just destroying banana trees. We've cut them all down, cleared the land. There's only about this much grass that we've all gone through. 200.
Mate, I'm getting feelings of Amazon rainforest destruction.
It was really brutal.
Mate,
So bad.
aren't you like eco-friendly?
I felt terrible.
Isn't you and Kat's ethos and this whole thing eco-friendly, and it's getting built on foundations of forestry and cutting shit
Destroyed. Yes. Bananas.
You're not putting a palm oil plantation in.
Yeah, there's going to be all these orangutans
just temporarily.
Kind of went next door,
we build infrastructure. No, banana, mate. I didn't realize. So I cut a banana tree, and the next day it had grown this much.
Wow.
So you cut its head straight off, and it grows straight out of the stem. It's amazing. But on the other side, it's also super dangerous because when you cut them down, 6 come back. They're like monsters. And so obviously we've got to dig them out at the roots, because we're going to have concrete, we're going to have tiling, we're going to have infrastructure. And if you don't do it properly, then it'll grow up through it and just destroy everything. So a $500 clear the land turned into a $2,500 clear the land. But we're really excited because now you can see the whole lot. I'm going to take the drone down there tonight or this afternoon and get some footage.
Nice.
That went in. We got a fence. We got 130 meters of fence now, so it's all enclosed, which is really, really cool. And then a lot of like little bits and pieces in the back end, just clearing up the business. I hadn't done tax reports for 5 years, so I had to clean that up so the company can start applying for building licenses and stuff. But we've sort of punished the to-do list, and now we can see the beginning of the building phase. So it's really, really exciting.
Right, good on you, Matty. That's exciting.
Yeah, really, really cool. So it's interesting because it's been going on for like 7 years now, but it's really, this is the tangible stuff. So it's like a real beginning, even though there's been like 6 or 7 beginnings for me, but it's exciting for Kat too, because she's part of it, and she's, from her perspective, it's happening really fast. For me, it's like, wow, this has been going on for a lifetime. So I think, that makes it fast. Like now I can actually do stuff. So things are happening quite quickly, which is, it's been a long time waiting. And here we are. So 2 weeks left, and then we come back and 6 months at home before coming back for good.
So back to Melbourne.
Yep. We drive back from Perth to Melbourne over 3 weeks. Kat flies to America. First time seeing her family in 3 years. On the 14th of September. So I need to have a home by the 12th with no alternators or any challenges. And that is 100% on me, because I picked the car and I've guaranteed her. She's like, I don't want to buy an old car. I'm like, it'll be fine. Me. I'm lying, and I have to get her on a flight back to America. I'm a little bit nervous.
Yeah. Greyhound coach, mate. Put her on the Greyhound coach.
You'll get it back to Melbourne.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't guarantee you'd be back to Melbourne in the Delica. I just got to get it back to Melbourne. Maybe I'll pay for a flight and then I'll drive over a little bit longer.
Take your time.
Yeah.
Be smarter.
Flights have got to be cheap into Melbourne, because whoever wants to go into a Dan Andrews governed state, no one's going to want to fly into there.
I don't want to fly into there.
That.
I haven't heard anything it's been amazing, 6 weeks. Nothing, news doesn't exist here. But Kat applied last night, so we're just starting to line up as many things as we can for February. So she really wants to work. So she's excited to get back.
Or
she's when we get back to Melbourne, she's keen to work with people face to face, but she's trying to apply for jobs that are a bit of face-to-face and then mainly remote, so that come next year she could work from Indonesia.
Mm-hmm.
And there's heaps. Like, since she got her master's, she basically, she can pretty much pick the job, if she gets it. But she just uncovered that in a full remote position, you have to have the vaccine. You have to be double or triple vaxxed. And we're just baffled.
To do what?
To do a mental health practitioner for Headspace, something like that.
Remote.
There's a requirement. I think the one she's looking at has some time in the office and basically remote. So there's still an opportunity for her to, specify, if I'm full remote, does it matter? But the fact that it's even in the job description was pretty baffling. I thought that was the thing of the past.
Yeah, that's fascinating. It's interesting when we're in the States.
Yes.
It's like coming out of Melbourne and being super strict with vax stuff and it's just and talking to friends and family there on what we went through. It's like super foreign to them. They're like, "What do you mean?" And he goes, "Oh, that
in the States, you mean?"
He goes, "Oh no, that will never fly." So a couple of states tried it. That nope, won't fly. And there's a couple of states that still have now certain industries that you need to have it to work in that industry in that state. But it's not a statewide thing. And a lot of states are just like, yep, whatever. And just fascinating. One of our one family member goes, I go, oh, we were talking about it, and he's like, he goes, I probably had it, but technically I haven't. I go, what do you mean? He goes, Janesh, my philosophy is if you never test, you never get it. And I was like, fair enough. But yeah, just interesting, just completely different outlook to it compared to kind of what's drummed into here in Australia.
Without going down this path, lastly, if you've had COVID multiple times, then you're just as protected as a vaccine. So if you've had it, shouldn't you be able to work? Like, what's this? No. Something's got to change. It's okay. I'm moving to Indonesia.
As you look at your backyard there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this is pretty good.
Checking.
Just checking. It's all good there.
Yeah. Corruption exists here too.
Yeah.
Yes. Speaking of corruption, let me tell you my second story. So,
please.
I'm in Cooper Pedy. I do my early morning run every morning, and a couple of mornings ago, I run past early, like at 6:30, and there's this coffee sort of place with people sitting out the front of it. I thought, geez, that's up early. They're open early. I'm going to check that out tomorrow. Anyway, I Googled it, and it's the Waffle and Gem. The Waffle and Gem.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. So it's the Waffle and Gem.
and Jim or Gem?
Gem. So they do Belgian waffles and gemstones. and coffee. So I go there. I think I'll go there the next morning. They open at 5:30. So I go there, and here's three old blokes and a younger bloke sitting out the front drinking coffee at 6:30 in the morning. And I roll up, of course, no shirt on. It's 2 degrees in Cooper Pedy in the morning. And I go, oh mate, look, it must be cold. Like, no, it's just I run my top off and they're chatting away, and well, they're not really chatting. I'm chatting. These are old blokes. They're pickled with coffee, probably alcohol and cigarettes, and swear like troopers. Like every second word is the F word or the C word. Right, every second word, literally. So
give us an example, Ben, just so that I can understand.
Well, you're F, and when you're F, you're bloody F. yeah, like, and on it goes. So
You can't even do it. You had to use the F word.
don't you worry, I can do it. But this is the PC podcast. Oh, don't say that. Don't say that because Siri's listening. So I say, can I get a coffee? Mm-hmm. This is after about 15 minutes of me standing there. There's this old Serbian dude, 78. He owns it. He's been a miner. He's been in town 41 years. He was an opal miner. 7 or 8 years ago, he bought this Waffle and Gem cafe. And, he doesn't get up. One of the other guys gets up and goes in to the shop and makes me a coffee, right? But before I go in, the guy gets up, he goes, so what sort of coffee do you want? And the Serbian dude who owns the coffee place, he goes, he's Serbian, but somehow his accent's kind of become Scottish or Irish when I do it. He goes, we got nothing fucking special there. No. And the guy and so the guy goes, well, mate, what do you want? And he says, I say, oh, look, you probably haven't got oat milk. And then there's silence, gosh. Right? There's silence.
Fuck, mate.
And they're all looking at me.
Melbourne.
And then the Serbian goes, this is fucking Kupapiti, mate. There's no fucking oat in Kupapiti. We don't grow oat here. There's no fucking oats growing here. There's no fucking oats, mate. How can we make fucking oat milk if there's no fucking oats in Kupapiti? No fucking oat milk. Fuck. And if you don't fucking like it, you go fucking somewhere else. So I go, okay. Well, I'll just have a black coffee with a dash of like normal milk. And I think this guy who's going in, right, he's almost no teeth left. He's probably 50. He's got one of those beards that's grey and orange from cigarettes and coffee. And so I follow him in. Now, the coffee machine is actually an espresso pod machine. So you put in the pod, makes the coffee. It's got the long life milk that's been sitting on the bench. And I went back the next day and stood out in front chatting with them again. And no one made me a coffee. And so I said, well, I'll just go and make my own coffee, boys. So I go in and make my own coffee. And the milk jug that is still sitting there from the day before. So it doesn't get refrigerated, which is fine because it's long life milk. Inspectors, health inspectors, listening to the show. So anyway, so it's quite the comedy, right? So I get chatting with this younger bloke who's quite the chatty one. He's a bit more chatty. He's got a lot to say. All the old blokes sit around kind of just rolling their eyes as this guy's talking. And he tells me that he's been on a tour. He's been gold mining in WA, and then he came and did some gold mining kind of around, don't quite understand it, but Alice Springs way. He's got this 4-wheel drive truck that's fully geared out, and he lives for months out in the bush. And one day he's driving and it breaks down. He's 90 Ks from Alice Springs, and he stays in his truck for a few days, don't quite get the story, but finally decides to leave his truck and walk to Alice Springs. He's walking for days. Gets found, taken to Alice Springs Hospital and put in a psych ward. He escapes from the psych ward and ends up walking to the Alice Springs airport and flying down to Kupapiti. He's been here for a few months and he's now opal mining. And he's doing opal mining where he does what they call noodling, where you go out at night time with an ultraviolet torch and you look for little bits of opal that have been missed. And so that's super interesting, you know, and we're chatting about it and he's showing me some opals that he's found. And I said, mate, that's exciting. He said, would you like to come out one night? Mm-hmm. And I said, yes.
Yes.
And he said, great, well, we could organise it.
Go out with someone who's just escaped.
That'd be great. I said, what are you doing tonight? And he said, well, you could do it tonight. And I said, look, I'll have to check with my wife. And he said, oh, look, bring her along as well. So I go back to Michelle. I said, Michelle, I met this guy. We're going to go noodling. She goes, oh, who is he? I go, I don't know. Well, he's a stranger. Why would we go out at night? Like out the back of Cooper Pedy with a stranger.
And the guy who escaped
now, I didn't tell him, Michelle, mind you, about the psych hospital bit. I didn't mention that bit.
And
anyway, 7 o'clock at night.
Doesn't exist.
we're due to meet Michelle, right? We're due to meet this lovely guy. Let's call him Tom. And so I messaged Tom, right, we're going to meet. He goes, oh, look, no, I'm still walking into town. Let's meet on the edge of town in this wrecker yard. And so it's all right on the edge of town. Anyway, I find out where it is, and it's like the middle of nowhere. Black, like it's dark, black road, nothing, and there's this old wrecking yard with one like street lamp out the front of this yard. So it's like if there was a camera crew, mate, we have shot the movie, right? This is like perfect. And we ride our two old rusty bikes down. We find this place, and there's no one there. And then all of a sudden, he steps out of the dark under the light. Right, here's Tom. We're in the middle of nowhere. And so Tom, and he says, now, I like you guys. I really like you guys. And that's why I'm taking you out tonight. But where I'm going to take you, you're not allowed to tell anyone where we're going, where we've been. Okay, yeah, no worries, Tom. So we start heading, and he goes, oh, we're going to turn left here. So we turn kind of left off this kind of bit of a dirt road, and now we're in pitch black, opal, just like opal mine holes everywhere. Do you know what opal mine holes are good for?
Bodies
dying.
So we're out in the middle, and like you could not. Anyway, he's only got one torch, which is an ultraviolet torch, which doesn't illuminate anything except reflecting on off-white surfaces.
Opals.
So, and the heckles are kind of like just feeling a bit awkward. Imagine how Michelle's feeling, right? Super awkward.
I'm really glad I brought my wife along.
Yeah, and we're walking along, and we're just walking further and further away from any civilization, not that there was any there anyway. And then he turns to Michelle and he says, do you believe in magic? Michelle goes, oh, yeah. Like magic shows, card tricks, blah, 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 that kind of magic.
You had a husband, now you don't.
Yeah. What kind of magic? Michelle goes, she sort of chuckles and goes, just like, he said, witchcraft. He says, do you believe in witchcraft? And Michelle goes, and like, I'm getting this. This is getting weirder. And like, how it just, you're sort of okay, and then it gets a bit weird.
Change the channel. How do we?
And then it gets a bit weirder again. Yeah. And then it gets a bit weirder. And then you go, well, this is feeling weird. You go, no, it'll be okay. And then it just gets weirder. And you're too far in, right? Then he says, I talk to animals. I can hear them. We communicate. And we're getting darker and darker. Well, sorry, I can't get any darker. It's super dark. We're just getting further away from civilization in these open fields, right? And
that cycle is getting more and more real too.
Yeah. And then, mind you, at this point, Michelle doesn't know about the cycle. Only I know that it's been.
He's going to listen to the podcast for sure.
Anyway, and then he says, sometimes I'm out here and I see explosions happening and like dead animals flying everywhere. Anyway, now we're kind of having a bit of a conversation about, he goes, this is getting a bit too deep. This is getting too deep. We'll go back to talking about opals. So we're back talking about opals. Now we're starting to torch for these opals, right? And we're finding these bits of opal and bits and pieces, and we're looking around. And anyway, he gives me the torch, and I'm kind of having a look around while he's standing talking to Michelle. And I'm constantly kind of listening and kind of looking up and just checking what's going on. And then he says to Michelle, he starts to tell Michelle the car breakdown, psych ward story. So you can imagine now how Michelle's feeling, right? We're out in just nowhere. Just I can't even describe the visual of this.
Is that when you yell out, "Oh, anyway, I found one"?
Michelle and I
to distract him. Oh, I've got an opal.
It's a big
right. It was super weird. Anyway, we'd agreed that we'd have a get out, which was that we had call the kids at 8:30. So 8:00 comes around and we go, oh look, we've got to go. We've got to call the kids. And he goes, oh, okay. Now will you guys be right to find your way back? And we go, no, all good. He said, because I might do a bit more opaling and then go to my dugout because he lives underground by himself with his mother. Not sure. Could be his mother. Could be, I don't know.
Somebody else's mother.
Could be someone else's mother. We go, no, we're good, all good. You go that way, we'll go this way. And so anyway, we start heading off and, looking over our shoulder, and we get back to our bikes and we're on our bikes and we're riding back. And I go to Michelle, that was all right, wasn't it? I'm thinking, and I could sense she's
about to explode at you. She's going to explode, mate. She's going to go, did you know about the psych ward? Did you know this guy's a crazy motherfucker?
Ben, you said he was a tour guide. You said that he's an opal specialist. And we were going to have all the appropriate safety equipment.
Super duper freaky. Super duper freaky. So after we had a bit of a conversation, well, actually, we didn't have a conversation for the whole 20-minute ride back.
And then there was
a conversation.
When you say a bit of a conversation, did you just sit and listen and cop the barrage of Michelle?
Yes, we had a constructive. I had a constructive listen, and then here's the moral of the story for our listeners. Here's the moral of the story for our listeners, and this is the take home for you.
Shit.
What you need, and we've agreed on one, is a safe word. As a couple,
yes,
it's a word that you say when you want to say, "Hey, time out." Let's pull the pin. Let's not go any further with this thing. Let's escape. You need a safe word. So the good part about the conversation is we have come up with a safe word.
And what is it? What is the word?
Well, I can't say it because Michelle could be listening, and if she hears it, everyone has to start running.
What if Michelle calls it and you're like, no, we're fine. We're fine.
No, that's the idea of a safe word.
This is
you hear it, you run.
This is one of those words where you break the glass and then you pull the lever. It's
get the fuck out of Dodge.
Don't break the glass and pull the lever unless you really need to break the glass and pull the lever. But if you do,
so when we were in America, we came for Janesh's wedding. He's 30. How old are you now, Janesh? 30.
It was 10 years ago. 10 years ago.
10 years ago. We came up, there was two boys, me and Paul were traveling together, and then our friend Sean came, and we were in South America. We had the same conversation. We're like, South America is a bit of a serious place where shit hits the fan very quickly. We need a safe word. And we were like, we not only need a safe word, like a let's run word, we need a let's pretend that we can fight word as well, because sometimes, you got to stand your ground and look tough and then run, right? So ours was William and Wallace. William was run and Wallace was stand your ground and look scary. But after a few beers...
you mix the two together.
Yeah.
Very easy to mix the two together.
Which is which?
Like, multiple scenarios where we couldn't remember. I'm like, am I fighting and looking angry? Am I meant to be running right now? Run! Okay, let's just go with run. Run's a lot easier.
I love it.
Do you have a safe word, Jan?
Anyway, that's the moral of the story for our listeners. So, Janesh, have you got a safe word?
No, I don't have a safe word. We've never had to use one at the moment so far. I'm trying to think of. There's maybe a.
Just think of the times back when you used to do the chains and the whips thing. Was there a word that you
more? Keep going. Yep, that's the spot. That's the word. I'm trying to think of no. It was like
that was very witty.
Who knows? It may be true. But no, there's been like times where I've had like a probably not with Cash, but just like with friends, like a look like, oh, nope, let's. And it's you know when you give someone a look and you run with the story and you're like, oh, we got to go here now, and they're like, and some of people get it, like, yep, sure, they saw you do that little look or that little nose tap or ear pull, and the others like, nah, we've got a free afternoon.
Oh, just oblivious, yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? We're really busy. Nope, we can't meet you for drinks this afternoon because you look sketchy. And no, we're not going to go down this alleyway because you have a better money exchange rate than the main street one. I'm like, no, I give you good rate, sir. I give you good rate. I'm like, nah, I'm good. I'd rather have a worse rate and just go to this ATM in a public space than go to your mate's backyard and potentially get mugged.
Mate, that just made me think of something funny. So I used to work in sales in London, right? And we would have trainees come and work with us all day. So there'd be managers and executives, and then you'd take one or two new people with you. And obviously, one of the impulse sales strategies they use is fear of loss, right? Or scarcity. So someone will come up and be like, oh, how many paintball tickets do you have left? And, generally you would say, oh, I've only got one or two. Yeah? I just remember I had this new guy with me, and someone's asked me, how many do you have left? And I thought, oh, I've only got one. And he's gone to the bag and looked in it and gone, nah, there's like 20 in here. I'm looking at this guy like, oh, you're so fired. You don't get it. You just don't get it.
But he's honesty, right? He's honest. He's like, look,
that's that person that when you give them the look and they're just oblivious, they're like, they're not sensing a scary situation at all. They're like, yeah, let's do it.
Fine. Yeah.
I'll drink the water. Sure. Yeah, we're near Wolf Creek. He seems like a nice guy.
Yeah. Right. Hey, I got to go because I need to go and just champion and encourage the guys down at
champion and encourage. Is that so?
Are they paying you?
I'm curious. If you could champion and encourage, right? Is that going to come across as get the fuck out of my space, Ben?
No, not the way I do it.
Not the way I do it. You better come with coffees in your hand. It's like imagine you're adjusting someone on the chiro table, right? And someone comes in and champions you. Ben, oh, you've got this, mate. Oh, you're really good. You're really good, mate. Just a little bit more on that vertebrae there. Yep, good. All right, next patient.
Here's the difference, though. I am actually a chiropractor.
Oh, that's funny.
So you're not you're not going to tell him how to concrete stuff. You're just going to go and support him in his part-time job, which is a mechanic.
On your Range Rover.
Yeah. Look, it's just lovely. They're really actually lovely guys. They're really lovely guys, and I know they're doing their best. As we always do, don't we? We're always doing our best.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's true.
Yeah.
Oh, mate. What's your bet, Matt? When is Ben getting out of QBPD? It is the 10th of August right now at 8.
I actually can't remember, Ben. Just quickly give us a history lesson. Not a history, a geographical lesson. Cooper PD below Tennant Creek?
I got to go. Go. What were you going to say?
Where's Cooper PD in relation to Tennant Creek? Are you below it? Above it? Where is it? Oh, he's cutting out.
Oh.
He's giving us I'm going through a tunnel.
There you
go. Where's Cooper Pedy in relation to Tennant Creek, the centre, or?
It's about 700 k's south.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay. I reckon
it's same, but different.
I think you'll make it to Tennant Creek. You're heading north, right, up towards Darwin.
Yeah, we're heading. Next stop will be. We'll go out to Uluru and Kings Canyon, pop into Alice, and then head up north to Darwin.
So you reckon you'll get to Uluru tonight?
Sorry?
You reckon you'll get to Uluru tonight?
No, we'll probably go to Marla tonight, which is a couple of hundred or so k's up north.
Yeah.
And
Just ease it.
Just get out of town and do something.
Matt, a couple of 100 Ks in lip mode, right? He'll be there by tomorrow morning. If he leaves now,
I believe in you, Benny.
5 Ks an hour, pulling the trailer.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. Hey, it was good to catch up, but I do have to run and go and do some championing and encouragement.
Oh, mate.
It was lovely to see you. Are we on for next week still?
Yeah.
All right. I'll see you next week, boys. Love you a long time.
All right. See you, mate.
See ya.
There, mate.
I actually just realised next week, now think about it, I'm flying out to Bali on Wednesday.
Next week.
Yeah, I've got a 9 o'clock flight, so it might be a little hard to jump on, but we'll work out the finer details.
You've got that wedding.
Yeah, another wedding. So wedding in Vermont, and then a wedding in south of Bali. Not this weekend, next weekend.
I have one in Early Beach and then Colombia. What is with people getting married all over the world?
Now borders are open. It's the thing to do.
Everyone wants to spend all their money travelling.
Yeah, mate. In wrap up, mate. What's some a takeaway from today's conversation?
Oh, look, I wish I could be a fly on the wall to watch Ben's championing.
Oh, mate,
what does that even mean?
Championing a mechanic. If I'm thinking in Melbourne or in Victoria, you go into mechanic and champion, they're going to be like, get the fuck out of here. We're going to go slower on purpose.
Or we're just going to pretend we're done. Ben won't know the difference. Yep, everything's done here. You're good to go.
I'm curious to know what he's just going to be waiting in that waiting room at the front of the mechanics, right? Or he's going to be in there and they're like, yep, pass me that spanner. Oh, yep, flick that, open up that manual. Go to YouTube for me. Scalpel, please. Suction. Yeah, so that would be funny.
I don't know if Ben would know the difference between a hammer and a spanner.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe.
Is he handy with tools and things?
Yeah, well, he put in his diesel heater in his camper, so I'm surprised.
Did he?
Yeah, he did.
Oh, so he's pretty handy.
Yeah.
He probably can in them.
I'm not sure if he can put an alternator into a car, but I'm not sure.
That's easy. A couple of bolts, bang, straight in.
Yeah, his mechanic told him 40 minutes. His mechanic's a seasoned mechanic that works on those vehicles all the time. So... But,
what is the takeaway? I'll tell you what the takeaway is.
Yeah?
That sometimes a Range Rover won't get you as far as a Delica.
Oh, yeah.
That's my takeaway.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Sometimes you get what you pay for, and sometimes what you pay for doesn't get you where you want to go.
True. That's funny. That is funny.
You got anything more inspiring?
Yeah, I do. I think I do. I reckon it is say yes to the adventure, even if you're not sure, because it's going to be a good story. The memories you're going to create, like, so Ben and Michelle's Opal adventure, a couple of hours before the wedding, we went bridge jumping. Right, which I was like, I don't know. The groom, Tom, if you're listening, Tom's like, yeah, we're gonna jump off this bridge. It's gonna be amazing. And we were like, we should probably check the water depth. And we did. We were responsible, and it was great. It was glorious. Like a couple hours before, and the day actually after the wedding, we went back to the bridge and jumped off it just for old times, and it was great. It was super good. Lots of fun. Water was amazing, but you just got to say yes. Obviously, say yes within reason and do your own due diligence. But yes, so say
Dinesh just protecting himself there.
Yeah, but no, say yes to adventure, right? Like
I think you've hit the nail on the head there. We're creating stories every day, and you can create some stories you want to be proud to tell. And sometimes they can, be. You don't need to be certain about the outcome before you participate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
have a safe word so you can get out of there if you need to.
Have a safe word. Oh, that is funny. That is funny. William Wallace. On that note, mate, have a good one, and listeners, till next time. Thanks for listening to another episode of Lifelong Learner. If you like this episode and want to know more and hear other episodes, head over to lifelonglearnerpodcast.com, where you can subscribe to our newsletter, where you'll be the first to know when new podcast episodes come out. And if you want to say hello, tell us a joke, or ask us a question, send us an email at hello@lifelonglearnerpodcast.com. Thanks again.